Isn't my fig leaf beautiful? Gosh, that's almost big enough to cover Adam and Eve. No, anyway, I love my fig plant. This is a Chicago hardy fig plant. And here's what it looked like out in the yard. That's all the taller it was. But look how it has grown. Boy, has it grown. Chicago hardy figs are a beautiful deep purple that looks gorgeous against the deep green of the three lobed leaves. Not only does this tree provide fruit, but it's an attractive specimen tree for your yard or in your house if you choose to keep it as a house plant. It is beautiful. It's low maintenance and disease and pest resistant. It thrives in full sun and can tolerate a variety of soils as long as they're well drained. Cold, dry, and heat tolerant, the Chicago hardy fig can grow in most states. You will only need one fig tree to produce tons of fruit because it is self-pollinating. So a little bit of information about this Chicago hardy fig tree. Well, first of all, in the winter, you can protect your plant by pruning the dead leaves and branches and mulch the base of the tree to cover the soil and the root system. Water the fig tree once a month while it's dormant, since the fig doesn't need much water when in dormancy. And if your temperature drops below 25 degrees, you can wrap the tree with burlap or bubble wrap to protect it from the frost. You'll want to prune it in late winter or early spring to encourage new fruit growth. It can get 30 feet tall. Well, mine, I believe, is a dwarf, but I could be wrong. Anyway, it can get 30 feet tall with a 20 to 30 foot spread at maturity. That's if it's outdoors, but it can be pruned down to a height of 6 feet. So if you're keeping it indoors, it's a little different. You just have to make sure that it's watered, but not too much, like sparingly. When I brought mine in from indoors, the leaves all dried up and fell off, so it was without leaves for a while. And then, as you saw, it grew new leaves and grew new height. So how tall is it? And it's probably about 4 feet, maybe a little more. I'm looking at it here in case you couldn't tell, because the pot itself is probably about 18 inches tall. So not counting the pot, it's probably about 4 feet. And that's pretty tall. Anyway, I've got it sitting in a north-facing window which has bright indirect light. And it's very bright today because there's snow outside and everything seems brighter when the snow, when you have a backdrop of snow. So once you pick the figs stop ripening. So leave them on the bush until they're completely ripe. We had a couple of figs, but they didn't quite get ripe enough before it was time to come in from the cold. And I haven't decided whether I am going to plant it in the ground outdoors or if I'm going to leave it in the pot. I don't know if it needs a bigger pot. It's probably okay in the pot that it's in for one more year, maybe. If you've got ideas, put them down below in the description, where you comment. And let's see if I've got more information here about when they're in containers. The important thing is for any climate zone lower than 7 is to choose a lightweight pot, or a pot that fits on a tray with wheels. And you'll need, if you leave it outside, you'll need more protection than in the winter than you would if it was in the ground. So this is key. Choose a pot with good drainage that isn't more than twice the size of your existing pot, and the tree will be happier being up-potted as needed rather than starting out in a huge pot. And it needs good quality organic potting soil. And when you put the pot outdoors, it needs to be in a nice sunny spot. Figs love the sun. So yes, they're drought tolerant, and containers, as you know, dry out much quicker than plants in the ground. So you'll need to keep your pot watered, but you need to check the soil so that you don't water it too much. Water it when the soil feels dry, about 2 inches down. You check with your finger a few times to get a good feel for when your tree needs water. But do keep in mind that as the roots grow and fill the pot, you need to water it a little more often. Water thoroughly, and if you allowed the tree to dry out completely and the water runs out of the drainage holes, keep watering until the potting mix is moist. Fruit trees in containers need fertilizer. A slow release fertilizer in early spring, again in midsummer, is best. Mulch helps to hold in the moisture and will cut back on your watering needs. And fig trees can tolerate heavy pruning, but avoid trimming more than 1/3 of the tree at a time. Almost anyone can grow figs if you've got a Chicago hardy tree. It's a heavy producer and is heat and cold tolerant, as well as pest and disease resistant. And the fig is a firm fig that is sweet and tasty. So, along with me, grow your figs. Let me know how your figs are doing. I'm loving my figs. And I'm hoping that this year I have figs I can actually eat. If they start coming out on the fig tree, we'll see if I leave it in a house. Maybe I'll leave it in a house. I don't know, I haven't decided yet. I'll let you know what I decide. Well, until my next video, chase after God. He'll find you. And I'll see you next time. This is Darlene from Darlene's Garden and Home, signing out. Bye-bye now.